Welcome to Homesroom. Just like Homeroom, we start off our day getting together with our homies, swapping stories, even a little kiss and tell action. This podcast contains language not suitable for younger listeners, topics about sex and mental health. Discretion is advised. Our views are our own. Let class begin. Hello there, and happy holidays. We are full of cheer today because we are finally doing our gift-giving episode. And with that, how are you today,
I'm
Miss
good.
Caitlin?
Merry Chrysler, Matt. How goes
Merry
it?
Chrysler.
This is
Good.
the end of what? We're 2/3 of the way through December. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa, all the things that come with it. Obviously very inclusive here at the Homesroom podcast. But yeah, it still feels very odd to be saying
Yeah.
Merry Chrysler
As they were putting out Halloween decorations. Yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah, super inclusive. Happy holidays to fit everybody in there. Yule, right? Is that what it is? That's what it is in the Yule.
Yep.
So even the pagans get welcomed here.
Absolutely.
We're excited. I know that we both I don't know if you sent yours in comedic response to mine, but I sent you a text message about my wrapping because I was going to wrap it and put it in a nice package. And then it was literally the hottest week of the year. And I was like, I don't got the energy for that. It's just going to go in a package. So who I am as a person means that this is not getting wrapped. It's just getting sent.
Said, okay, so to set this up, this is something we talked about last podcast episode where we are in like this like fun internet friendship, homies type, relationship where Matt and I have never met face to face ever. We'll meet each other eventually, 100%. But I said, wouldn't it be so fun to have an episode where we mail each other Christmas presents and we open them up live on the pod? And that's what this episode is today. And you, about half a week ago, 6, 7, 8, whatever days ago, said your present is on the way, but it's not wrapped because of who I am as a person. And that made me chuckle so hard, Matt.
Good.
And then, Matt, what text message did you get Saturday morning?
Your gift is wrapped in a Target bag. Your present is wrapped in a Target bag and will be there Monday because of who I am as a person. And it was asterisk who or I, and I thought it was hilarious. I laughed really hard.
Not only is your present being wrapped in a Target bag, it is also very close to being overnighted because of who I am as a person. Last episode that we recorded, or episode ago that we recorded, we said, we've got like 2 weeks to send each other stuff. Like, it's fine. That's enough time. I was like, yeah, it is enough time. Sure. And then because of who I am as a person, got it overnighted. But your present's here. Did mine make it?
It did make it. It is. It's right here. I gave you a little crap at the beginning when you asked to make sure, and I was like, yeah. So, I'm excited about this because I gave you the like full me gift giving experience, and we'll get to that when we get there. But like, I'm super excited about that. But before that, I got a funny message to share with you. I've been getting emails and things like that about, promoting the podcast or jumping on this platform. And I've shared some of those with you and been like, hey, like, what do you think? And some of them, like doing some research into them, seem a little scammy. Some of them seem like it's not that, like your quote of the juice isn't really worth the squeeze. So I've kind of, pushed those off to the side. I got one today that was like out of the blue, didn't know who it was, and it was through my Facebook page. So the M Homes Writer page, if you follow us on Facebook, and it was so weird because it was like, what are your daily downloads on Apple for your podcast? And I was like, I don't really track those numbers that closely to know, especially Apple, because I have to to get into the Apple one, I usually do it from my computer, have to go to their website, have to log in, get an access code sent to my Apple account, which is my phone, and then log in to verify that it's me, and then sift through their like analytics. And that's a lot of work, and I'm not super worried about that right this second. Like, we're not big enough to be like, oh my gosh, I gotta worry about my downloads and how many like any downloads is good, or any listens is good. Like, I'm happy with, like, if 3 people hit me up and are like, I loved your episode, then that means that like we are batting 3 for 3 and I'm good.
That's a dub, Matt.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I don't really look into that. And then their response after that being my response was, I can get you 200 a day. I was like, block, delete. Yeah. Your face says exactly what my brain said.
I'm 100% behind you. When I think we've had several conversations about this where the analytics are not necessarily make or break for us. And it's not a situation where we're buying views, we're farming followers, we're doing any of that. Like, this is going to be an organic process, and it's going to be something that we grow a meaningful community over time. So I think that's absolutely hilarious that that's something that you want to share with us in the pod today.
It was so funny.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And super interesting that that's somebody that's just going to like harvest a message for you of your Facebook page out of nowhere. So
I take that as a huge compliment, and this is why. And everybody out there, this is when you get if you're doing anything for yourself and you start getting like scammers hitting you up, you start getting, people kind of hating on you a little bit, people, the way you need to reframe this. And this is how I reframe this conversation with this weird person who I don't know. And when I searched their profile, I couldn't actually find them. So take that with a grain of salt. But the way that I take this is, before any success, anybody that thinks there's something to be gained by duping you is going to swoop in. So this person was trying to swoop in because he thought there was something, or they thought that there was going to be something to be gained off of doing that. So regardless of whether they've seen my post a few times, they've listened to the podcast, they've seen the links shared somewhere, whatever reason they came across me, they thought it was worth trying to get something out of me, which means I'm worth something, even if it's not to the people I was hoping it would be. I just got to keep plugging away, and eventually the right people will start reaching out. The right paths will start opening up in front of me. And instead of being discouraged, like, man, every time somebody reaches out, it's a scam. It's like, man, a lot of people think that I'm doing so well that I should be getting scammed. So yeah, there's that. Some inspiration for you, or some reframage, if you will.
I love that for both of us, Matt.
Good. You always say like, whatever you want, boss. And it always makes me laugh because, like, as much as like this is my thing, I still like, I value input and I value your opinion, and making jumps like that I wouldn't do unilaterally unless it was like it had to be done right this second. I didn't have time to think. But chances are, if I was put into a situation where I didn't have time to think, I'd be like, give me some time to think, because I don't ever make rash decisions. As we are recording an episode for December in August, I plan
absolutely
a lot.
Yes. Yeah, you do. And as your co-host, I feel like that is one thing that we balance out super well with, that you are hey, pause, let me take a second and evaluate whether or not this is, legit, or like a good fit for us, or on brand with what we're trying to build here and the community that we're trying to build. So, yeah, I do still say, yes, whatever you want, boss. Absolutely. But you still absolutely give me enough space to be able to, talk about whatever I feel like needs to be talked about. And, yeah, so I'm very thankful for that. Thank you, Matt. Mary Chrysler.
Good. Yeah, see, it's I forgot about that. See, we're just having a normal old episode. I keep forgetting it's a Christmas episode. So like, if you hear some banging around, maybe it's reindeer, maybe it's what is it? That guy that just
Santa
rolls up.
Claus?
No, the other dude.
Oh.
I can't think of what his name is. It's like anti-Santa, but I can't think of what his name is.
Oh.
I can't think of what it is. Krampus.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? I was like, it's like Christmas, but not. Yeah. See, maybe it's just some demony thing falling down trying to kill me, because we went there with the
Krampus.
ghosts
Yep.
before. Yeah, Krampus. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I also enjoy that you looked at me like, dummy, Santa Claus. I was like, no, like obviously. Because my mind first went to Black Santa, and then I was like, I'm not going to go Black Santa. And
No,
I could go Black Christmas, though.
Matt, what I keep forgetting is that you have the privilege of being several years further along in the parenthood journey than I do. And I've got at the point that we're recording this, I've got an 11-month-old and a 2-year-old. So if I have the spare like brain capacity to form a coherent sentence, like it's a dub. But yeah, I'm it's like Santa Claus. No, Krampus. Yep.
Yeah.
Krampus. That's who we were talking about. There's been a couple horror movies about Krampus, correct?
Correct. Yeah. I think we need to watch one. We watched one, but we didn't watch the other one. But I don't remember what the other, like, I can't, because there's Black Christmas, and then there's Krampus, and then there's something else similar to it, but I don't remember whether that was just a pagan Christmas celebration-y serial killer slasher thing or something.
So there was a Krampus movie that came out in 2015, which was a Christmas horror comedy. Starring Adam Scott. Funnily enough, he was, if you don't know him, he is one of the main dudes from Parks and Rec. And I'm immediately trying to scroll on all the Google results to try and see whatever other Krampus movie you're talking about, and I can't figure it out. I just see one Krampus movie.
Yeah, because it might be a indie Shudder film or something, because I can't remember what it's called. That one's called something different, I think, but I don't remember. Like I said, it's that one. I think is like more pagan holiday, and that's just what it is. But we digress. We like to dive into rabbit holes, as our last episode has definitely expressed. So we have a topic this week of just Christmas in general and whatnot, and you came up with some good questions to ask. And I wrote some notes for that. So I don't know if you want to start with like your worst gift, or do you want me to start with my worst gift?
I will start with my worst gift, because I also want to start it with a shout out to others like me who navigate the holidays with a shade of gray, where you are excited for the holidays, you're excited for another year of Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all the things, but it is always tainted with your loved ones that you have lost not being there for them. And my worst gift always 100% ties in to my dad. My sister and I, we were, I think, sophomores and juniors in high school, me being the older. I was a junior in high school, and his go-to for Christmas was to just get us gift cards for Christmas. And we did not have the type of relationship where my sister and I, into older high school, college, and, young adulthood, were having regular conversations with him about where we were buying our clothes from. So his go-to was to buy a couple gift cards for, Old Navy, Target, Amazon. Those were always very welcome. But I was maybe a senior in college or a freshman, or no, I was a senior in high school / freshman in college. And he was still buying us Aeropostale gift cards. So For those of you that maybe don't know, Aeropostale is a very, maybe in my personal opinion, I don't know. It's a very dated clothing company. It's a very dated, like, age range. I would proudly wear Aeropostale in like middle school, early high school, and then started to transition away to like Old Navy, Hollister. That was like very much on brand for when I was, dealing with older years of life. He kept buying us Aeropostale gift cards. And I remember several years that he would, we'd open these presents or he'd open our gift cards and we'd be like, thanks, Dad. Here's Aeropostale. I do not want to be seen dead in Aeropostale t-shirts or like very branded Aeropostale anything. So I would say from the like tween, teenage, early adulthood perspective, a gift card to a store that you no longer buy clothes to 100% is the worst gift I've ever gotten.
This is terrible. But also, like,
if that's the worst gift I've ever gotten, maybe that means that like I haven't gotten like terrible gifts, but immediately that's what my brain jumps to, because it was also a weird situation where my sister and I would have side conversations of like, we had to like, thank you so much for this, Dad. Like, you're wonderful. Thank you. Like, whatever. And then we, later on we get away from family. It's just my sister and I alone. And we're like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with $100 Aeropostale gift card? Like, what are we supposed to do? So that's where, that came from.
I think there's something to be said about giving clothing gift cards, depending on like your knowledge of the person. That was a good example of like knowledge about a person and gift cards. This is knowledge about a person and clothing. So my worst gift is a turtleneck sweater that was like terrible fabric, wasn't my color, and was like awful fabric. My aunt gave it to me and was super excited. It was like, if I remember correctly, it was like almost a sky blue with like navy blue and white stripes, but it was a turtleneck, and like my skin tone and that just, it doesn't work. It looked awful. It was like, nope, can't wear it, can't do it. And of course it was one of those things that she gave me slightly before Christmas, and my mom, knowing full well that they were coming over for Christmas, was like, oh, you should wear that sweater. And I was like, God, I don't wanna. And had to like suffer through wearing this sweater for like part of Christmas. And then I accidentally possibly spilled some stuff on it early enough that I got to change out of it. And yeah, so there's that. But yeah, like I said, it just was like, I can count on one hand the amount of times that I've worn a turtleneck. Like now I might wear like a mock neck, like
I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, like a base layer thing, or like a shirt like that. But like an actual like wool-ish like turtleneck, hell no, that is not a thing I would do. It was just disappointing. Also, I missed a huge mark starting this episode off with my lights. I copied you and I got lights, but I didn't press the Christmas button, so now my lights are red and green instead of just green.
Oh, well, I have not even figured out how to do that. I just, we've been talking about it for like the last 2 or 3 weeks of me getting my LED situation figured out. And I just, minutes before I started hitting record, got them turned on and plugged in, and they are so much brighter than I thought they were going to be. So I just was like, all right, well, this is the color that we're dealing with. I'm going to, get into the directions and it didn't come with a remote. So, I'm just very festive in spirit. Maybe not in my filming background, but it is what it is.
I'm making up for it. We got Jason Voorhees cat and Jason Voorhees mask.
It's very festive, Matt. 100% is very festive.
I definitely should have planned ahead and like hung something off my mic or my earphone hooks back here with like some Christmas ornaments, because I'm sure there's some laying around, because I always forget to pack something up. So moving from like our worst gift, your next one was like the most memorable Christmas, I think, is that what it was? I have to look at the Google Docs. I had it pulled
So
up.
for me, Christmas memories as kids, the most memorable gift that I ever got as a kid is one of the last Christmases when I was in elementary school, right? Both parents. I got what was the like top of the line Barbie stereo toy. And it had like different versions of like fake plastic CDs that you put into it, and you put like the CDs into it, and every CD that you put in played a different song, and you know, this, that, whatever. I say that it is one of the most significant presents in my like childhood, because still to this day, there is a picture of me like with my hands up under my chin with a headband on, like huffing away my bangs, my very 90s bangs away from my face, because I was dancing my ass off, my absolute ass off to some of the CDs that came with this like very 90s Barbie stereo present. And my mom rounded the corner to take a picture of me, and I saw that she was coming, and I very quickly like knelt down and like laid on my stomach and like took like the picture like this or whatever. I say it's very memorable only because it's one of the last Christmases that I had as, you know, a very young child, where both parents were there. My older brother was there. It was a very untainted Christmas with family drama, or, you know, like the magic of Christmas was still very much there. So still to this day, I see that picture of me huffing away on my bangs, like away from my face, and knowing exactly where I was in that minute, and still also having a vivid memory of, where I was as a kid, before my mom rounded the corner to take that picture of me and that toy. Also, that toy was badass. I cannot say confidently that the toys that they make now hold a flame maybe to some of the toys that we got, especially from Mattel, in the like mid to late 90s. There's some really awesome toys that I've been in a toy aisle with my toddler and been like, this is absolute dog shit compared to some of the stuff that I got as a kid. But I don't know, maybe that's just, you know, being born and raised in the 90s. So you know, specifically that toy stands out in my mind, but also that season of life and that time with my family is very significant to me. So that was why I would say that that is my most, my happiest memory of a Christmas present that I got as a kid.
Yeah, I know exactly what Barbie, like boombox stereo thing that you're talking about, and I'm pretty sure my sister, like my middle sister, so still older than me, but like I'm pretty sure she had it, and I think that's one of those like I to me, I think the toys back then were better. I think that they're the level of detail with little things was just better. Things moved that don't move now. Things came apart that don't come apart now. Things that like are just painted on now were like three-dimensional then. And I think that there's something to be said for that. With that Christmas being kind of like you said, untainted, I think I like the use of that word for that. Do you have a like a vivid like memory of the day, or just like overall that like that time?
More so, I think it's both. I was I was taken home from the hospital in one house in one town. And this was one of the very last like Christmases that I remember in this house before we moved into, the house that I dealt with all of the middle school, high school, early college years with. So, that house is a perfect encapsulation of my childhood and the like ideals of my childhood, the magic of my childhood, specific to Christmas. as well. So I think it's a mix of both. It's super odd to go back and start to look through some of those older memories with Christmas, as somebody that has lost both of her parents, and more specifically my mom at such a young age. That's one of the last Christmases that we have home VHS tapes for too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an extra layer of like, I have absolutely zero fucking recollection of this Christmas, but I know that I can go back and watch this VHS tape of a very foundational memory of my childhood that maybe I don't recall perfectly to this day. So, yeah, it's very complicated. And I wish I had maybe a better memory of the joy that came from Christmases at that point in my life and even moving forward. But I don't know. Do you think our memory just gets worse
I think so, but
as we move forward in adulthood? I don't know.
I think certain things become sticking points, and I think that there's only so much bandwidth, and it's for different reasons and different people. Certain things get dropped out of the box, and other things like stick. Which is like, I think this is a really good question, and like I think you might if you were also in this position, agree with like my most memorable thing about Christmas. We always woke up in our own beds on Christmas. We didn't go anywhere. We never traveled. We never, like, I remember cousins who came to like where we lived, and we had like my mom's huge family would come up. So it was always like, they weren't home. And I just always remember thinking like, that must suck because Santa doesn't get to visit them here, or they only get part of their stuff because the rest of their stuff is at home because they're up here. And I think that was the thing that like I appreciated then, is I always got to go home at the end of the day. I always got to wake up and deal with all of the emotion, all the excitement, all of the everything of Christmas in my own house. And I try and do that for my kids now. I want them to wake up in their own home. I don't want them to travel. Like Thanksgiving is one thing, we can go wherever, but Christmas, it's like I don't care what's going on. Like I want them to wake up in their own beds and be excited in their own house, and remember that excitement and tie it to something stable, something solid, and it didn't change a bunch. It's just like, so that's the thing that I always think about. Like the gifts are kind of whatever. I remember, a handful of things specifically that I got for Christmas that was just like, wow, I love it. But like being home and coming down the stairs and those feelings of like where our stockings would be, coming down the stairs, and me and my sister like being like, well, we got to wait for everybody else to get up, but we can sneak into these stockings. We just got to remember where everything was and we'll put them back. Like all of that stuff is memories that are tied to that space.
Your sister sounds like a troublemaker, Matt.
She was not actually. I was a troublemaker. She was just smart enough to be like, hey, go do that. And I was dumb enough to be like, okay. So I don't know if she's awesome. A troublemaker, but yeah.
That is awesome, Matt. Yeah. No, and so I know leading up to this podcast episode, when we're talking about tips to survive the holidays with your family members and everything, of like, don't be afraid to set boundaries with family members or whatever. And it's definitely been something that my husband and I have had to learn how to set. And we both set the boundary that Christmas morning, doesn't matter what extended family is in town. It doesn't matter where anybody is supposed to be or where we're supposed to be when dinner or lunch is served or breakfast or whatever the hell. Christmas morning will always be at our own house with our kids waking up in their own bed for that exact same reason that you just kind of went into, Matt. They're very lucky and fortunate. They will always have extended family members that want to celebrate the holidays with them. But we are also our own family of 4.
Yeah. Exactly.
Myself, my husband, my 2 very young kids. This Christmas will be probably one of the very earliest that we actually have an older baby and also a toddler to celebrate with. And it's not something that I'm willing to compromise on. So again, it was not something that everybody in our family was super excited to hear about or was celebrating. But my husband and I both felt that for our smaller family unit to be able to celebrate Christmas and open presents and have our kids come down the stairs to the present that Santa brought them in the middle of the night. And also, that's a great way for us to set the boundary of Christmas present happening. Christmas present opening happens on Christmas morning and not in the middle of the fucking night. So I'm going to get my extra like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I don't know about you guys, but
we try. I don't remember what we did the last time, but last year we were in bed by like, I think maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock or something like that. Like, and most years before that, it was like almost midnight by the time we finally got to bed after like trying to get home from like being at my mom's house, getting that quiche, coming home, everything. So yeah.
But I get that quiche because I'm going to be jealous this fucking year. I don't get any.
Yeah. I'll have to see if she'll send you the recipe. Yeah. I don't know. I think that segues into the next question too, or the next thing that you wrote down, about like how is Christmas now with your kids? Like you just kind of touched on it. So like, what is Christmas like with especially like, what are you excited for specifically this year with a kid that's like old enough to interact with Christmas and now another kid that can see that kid interact and maybe emulate some of that stuff?
So Christmas now with my own children, which is still a very weird concept for me to even like be speaking publicly about. I hatched both of them. Okay. I carried both of them. I grew them both in my own womb. And it is still a very weird concept for me to be even considering what Christmas is like with 2 children. Christmas with my own 2 children now is so much slower than what Christmas was before I had my own kids. And I mean that in the best way. I felt like for me, before I had kids, specifically when my husband and I were dating, before we were married, and it was like the Christmas season and holidays are like something we just have to endure before we can go back to college and like party our asses off and like go back to class and, you know, do our regular normal pattern of life for where we were in young adulthood at that point. Christmas now with kids is slower, meaning that I now as a mother, I take more time planning wise. I take more time to put together a solid to-do list, a shopping list. We bake cookies. We have solid Christmas dinners, solid Christmas breakfasts. And we definitely have our own little quiet family of 4 Christmas morning in our own house before we go out and go forth and deal with Christmas with extended family, which is great. So I guess all of this to say the biggest transition of dealing with Christmas before and after kids is the speed of it. It's, you know, especially when you're back in the college years or, you know, time before kids, it's more of like, oh, well, I guess I have to like go and talk to my significant others, you know, great grandparents or grandparents or, you know, second or third cousins that I don't really know. And then we can go back into our pattern of normal life of this is what I know to expect and, you know, whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't know if you feel the same way, and maybe it's just a thing of like marriage or older adulthood or something like that. But Christmas feels like um Christmas feels like it doesn't go by as fast. But there's a lot more work that goes into it.
Yeah. Mine's kind of similar, I guess. I do like what you said, and I appreciate that that's how you feel, and that's the thing that you resonate with when asked that question, because that's beautiful. That's what, like, to me, that is what, like, you know, uh, in an ideal, utopian world, the way it was set forth, it's mom, dad, uh, two kids, and a white picket fence, and you feeling that like you want to give as much breath to that as you can in that one little bubble for that little bit of time you have. I think will make a difference later on for them, and they'll realize, like, man, I loved Christmas at home because it was, it was just us, and I knew I was safe, I knew I was happy, I knew I was this. Like, for me, I also agree with that, but it's kind of a mixed bag. Like, I don't feel like I get to sit back and enjoy it as much as I like used to. I feel like I'm like fully invested in what the kids are doing, and are they happy? Did the thing that I hoped that they were, that they wanted, that I got, that I like just hope, like, did that hit the mark? Did whatever thing that disappointed them, did that make a difference? I think that it's just, maybe a problem that like I just have in general, because like I'm that way about other things too, but I just want to do like my very best to make them have a good holiday season, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. And I hope that like they know that like I'm putting in the effort because I want them to have a good holiday, and it's not that I'm like distracted, it's that like there's so much going on that like I just want to make sure that like we get cookies to bake, we there's this to do, we get you to my mom's house to hang out with family on Christmas Eve, and we uphold those traditions, but also you get home and we get to have some just us as a family unit, all that there's a lot of shuffling, a lot of things going on, and I think that for me there's a little bit of like added stress that I probably do to myself. So I just don't feel like I get to enjoy it as much as I once did.
100%, which is a great segue into the last prompt that we have, which is what we wish Christmas was more of. And I'll be the first to say I wish that Christmas was more of the magical childhood bullshit that we dealt with or like got to experience growing up. And now into parenthood and adulthood, there's so much work that goes into kids feeling the magic of Christmas that I don't know. I wish I could just delegate it all to a personal assistant and me just be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is wonderful. In your personal opinion, does Courtney do a good job of getting Christmas gifts for you?
It's hit or miss. I'm not gonna lie. We believe in being honest here, so it's hit or miss. Sometimes they're good.
Matt, I'm so glad that you just said that because my husband's the same way.
It's sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. I don't know. It's one of like I guess I have to give the explanation of this part. So for me, I am trying to do better about just getting things as gifts that are just going to sit somewhere. Like I don't want to get like I want to like it has to be a reason for it. Like to just get me like a random knickknack for random knickknack's sake because it called out, like if you have a place in mind that you want me to put it, like as you're giving me that gift, be like, yo, that could go there. And I'll be like, okay. And I equate it. But if you get me like a big ass like gold shoe because it like made you think of like my airbrush work or something, it's like, cool. What do I do with it? I don't know where I'm going to put this. But now I gotta...
Matt, can we just real quick fucking address what episode are we on? And I just now figured out because of the Instagram video that you posted about shoes you made for your fucking wife. You didn't tell any of us that you're an airbrush artist. Excuse me?
I did, and I even said I'm not very good in the time I said it, so I think we just like scrolled past it.
I did not realize. And so you, in the last 2 months or so, you posted something about how you had made an airbrush pair of shoes for your wife. And I was like, oh my God. And honestly, I meant to bring this up to you much earlier than a fucking Christmas episode. So I apologize. But that is so insane to me. Like, I didn't even realize that was something that was like a hobby of yours, or that you wanted to like spend time doing or whatever. And so, no pressure. I'm just going to commission a piece of airbrush art from you, and you're just going to deal with it and, you know, see how it goes. But, that's awesome. But yeah.
Side note, that whole thing came about because like I've always painted. I've always been like rattle can, spray paint, all that kind of stuff. But when we got married, we wanted to get married in chucks, and we wanted everybody's name on the chucks. And when we priced how much that would be, it was like, oh fuck no. So it was cheaper to go get an airbrush setup. And I happened to went to Hobby Lobby, and I went to go buy an airbrush, and somebody had mismarked $139 airbrush for $13.99. And I was like, this is a fucking sign. So I got an airbrush, got a machine. I airbrushed all of our shoes, so they had everybody's names on them, and then the date on the other side, which a lot of us still have, I believe. And then from there, like I just kind of like, I had this airbrush stuff, so like I might as well use it. And like, I'm not gonna let it sit there and collect dust. And then I got better and better, and I guess, you know, I got to the point where like I'm kind of good at it, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I'm that great, but like whatever. And then I get asked to do helmets and stuff like that. Like it's hard to see, but like I got helmets above me that I've painted for myself that are like my old derby helmets. But yeah. And then Courtney, our anniversary, I wanted to do another pair of chucks, but she would never buy all black chucks or all black and white, like classic chucks. She would never just get them so I could steal them and do it on the, like she had them, and then they would disappear, and then they would pop back up and be painted. She would never get them anytime I told her to buy them. So then I just had to order some, and I airbrushed Ghostface on one side and the word Scream from like the movie, and then the Mike Myers mask on the other side, or on the other shoe, and the Halloween. And yeah, they came out pretty freaking awesome. I was super proud of them.
Please go check out Matt's Instagram for a behind the scenes reel of him crafting those and making them. I just was randomly at work one day, and that reel came across my feed, and I was like, what the fuck? Matt is not only a podcast host expertise, not only is he a roller derby coach and all the things that come with that, he can fucking do airbrush art. And I'm like,
that was the first time I did a time lapse, and I was like, every time I've always
really
wanted to do it. Yeah, I've always wanted to do them, but I never everything I do is always secretive, so I never think to take the thing, and usually, and I'm getting paid to do it, so I'm always like, I just want to get this done, and I'm focused on that I just space like I take progress pictures, but I don't think to do a time lapse. And I was doing those, and I was here by myself, and I was like, I'm gonna do a time lapse. So yeah, I'll post it so we can find it when this comes out.
Here is a cheap and no pressure submission for you to do something with the Homesroom podcast logo and something with airbrush.
Yeah. I will
just
see.
To challenge yourself creatively. It might be, middle of next year before we're actually seeing something like that, and that's okay too. I am just super impressed by it. And it's also just like you introducing me to roller derby, and I had no idea anything about roller derby before you or Court through Instagram showed me anything about it. I don't know anything about airbrush art either. So, do something fun, and we'll see. Maybe you can do the next sticker for the Homesroom podcast.
Yeah.
How's that?
See. I like that idea. I also would like to climb out of this rabbit hole that we jumped down by accident,
No,
which is my fault.
why do we do this,
I
Matt?
don't
Why do
know.
we do this every fucking episode? It's fine.
I don't know.
Keep
That's
going.
the point of a podcast, right? So we were talking about what we wish or what we want more out of Christmas. And
Yes.
I know for me, I wish Christmas was more impactful to everyone, like the people that are struggling to just have food. I wish it wasn't a sad time for them. The people that are like, disappointed because they can't do great things for their kids for the holiday because of whatever. Like, I wish that Christmas could be more impactful for them in a positive way. People who've lost somebody, like, I'm like ultra like all of these things since meeting you have like just like triggered in my brain about like people that are dealing with loss around holidays, people that are dealing with loss around, their own birthday, like all of those things, because like I don't have to deal with that. So, that's, that word again, privilege. I have the privilege to not deal with that. So it becomes like a thing that I'm like thinking about. And I wish that, they could celebrate the holidays without that feeling of empty, and knowing that like, that is an impact to them. Like that is sad. Like I want everybody to be able to share the joy equally without having like any kind of stigma one direction or the other. And I just want people to, like I said, to just be happy and enjoy it. I don't know, it's like a lot of emotion to deal with for everyone, and because of that, like it's like everybody is a landmine, and you don't know you don't know what thing is going to set it off. So you're just hoping that like being kind is going to go far enough. But then you get the people that aren't being kind thrown in there, and it's like, well, you're a fucking asshole. I'm going to go over here and be angry. And it's like, let's not do that. Let's everybody be kind. So I wish it was more of that.
Why do you think it's not?
I know for me, like, I think everybody is, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people get caught up on the materialistic side. And I've been in retail for long enough around holidays to like have dealt with it on that side, and how shitty people can be, but also how like beautiful people could be. And you wouldn't notice how beautiful people could be if it wasn't for the shitty people. But at the same time, like I'd rather, if I had to choose, I would rather not deal with the shitty people than deal with than like always have the beautiful people. Like, just come in, be happy, realize that like I want to help you as much as you want me to help you. And in the end, you aren't the only one that wanted this thing that we're now out of stock on. Like, don't yell at me because you waited till the third week of December to buy this thing and it's not here. Like, I didn't do that. You were mad because you wasted your time, or you got distracted, or you didn't have time to come out just because like that's the way your life went. Whatever that thing is, like I said, it's just a ball of everybody's trying to do the best they can. So don't take this unfortunate thing out on somebody else. And like I said, that's where it becomes like a landmine, where like I wouldn't know that you were dealing with loss if I just ran into you off the like around the corner. But like me being a dick to you because I was having a bad day, because I'm low on funds and can't give my kid, like, now I set you off because I'm set off, and then the next person, and it's just it's like whatever, sympathetic explosions or whatever it's called, where like something an explosion here sets off an explosion there, and now we're all just walking around grumpy because we're all dealing with stuff and nobody's giving us that grace to like be chill. So
Everybody be chill.
yeah, exactly.
How's that?
Put on some Bob Marley. Yeah, exactly. Put on some Bob Marley and just be chill.
Okay, so do you want to rock, paper, scissors to see who opens?
Yeah, because I don't
Our
know how
gift first?
I don't know how we're gonna do that, because it like I assume I would hope that there's not a delay, but if there's a delay, somebody's getting screwed, right?
Okay, let me volunteer first, because you were the one that had your shit together the most to send it to me with the most earliest advance and all the things. Yeah. So, okay. I have right here the package that Matt Holmes sent to me with my Christmas gift. So I'm just going to go ahead and open it, right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I see immediately a cup.
Yeah.
You have sent me Death Before Decaf cup. right? In
Yep.
pink, 100% my signature color. Absolutely adore.
Yeah.
100%.
There's
And
everything else is in the cup because it was easier to
okay.
do it that way.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, everybody, fuck off. I have Homes Room podcast stickers, which is
Yeah.
what I've wanted for the hot while. I've wanted it for so long. So, yes, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm doing
Yeah.
anything, I'm sucking on a fucking cup while I'm here.
Yeah, there's a funny story about that. But then, like I said, there's also another placard in there.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, that's what's rattling around.
I will start working when my coffee does in pink. And if you think this is not going immediately on my fucking desk at work, you're wrong.
I was hoping it would. So like I said, I told you earlier, you got the full, Matt Holmes experience for a Christmas gift. So I was going to go get a coffee mug with a nice swell one is what I had, and it was pink. It was pink and black, like splatter painted. It was going to be really awesome. And then Courtney was like, "Oh, I have that one, and I hate it because you can't use it left-handed." And I was like, "Oh man, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, the lid only goes one way, so like you can't ever hold it in your left hand and drink." And I was like, "Well, I can't use this one now. Like that doesn't work." So
how do you know I'm left-handed? What the fuck, Matt?
because you and Courtney bonded over being left-handed one day, and it was so funny to me. And I was like, "Damn, I can't give her a non-left-handed thing because I etched the words onto that cup, and it had to be done so that when you're holding it in your left hand, they face out."
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious. So when you twist the lid all the way on, the spout is on the side so it's facing out.
Oh my God.
So you don't have any
God.
airbrush. You don't have any airbrush art for me just yet, but you do have a cup that I made that logo or that thing on, because when you pointed that out that you had that button, I was like, dude, that's fucking amazing. I'm going to make her a thing.
Specifically because I am a left-handed. And you know what? Honestly, shout out to all of my bitches that were burnt at the stake because they were left-handed back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. I'm celebrating it.
My God, Matt, thank you so much. This is awesome.
Like I said, full Matt experience. I make gifts. I might spend, like I said, I usually try and buy small business. I love it. That's the one that was on my desk last week that I was looking at the whole time to remind me about it because it was funny. And I was like,
I love it.
I was hoping it was going to go on your desk, but
I will start working when my coffee does, and that's on period. I've always said that.
Yeah, good. I love it.
Okay,
yeah,
so you open your gift.
Should I be all noisy in the microphone and like?
Oh God, was I really noisy?
No, you weren't.
Sure
I was just being different. So I'm also known for at Christmas when people are opening gifts. Even when I go to like places that like we went to a White Elephant Christmas and somebody was like, "I need to open this gift. I can't open it. How do we open it?" I was like, everybody looked at me and I was like, "He's always got a knife." So we always have a knife. So we're gonna open your gift with the trueness of me, and I'm super excited because it's a gray Target bag too. My favorite, all my stuff is gray. So
okay, but you know what? Talk your shit, Matt. But also, if you give me the option between like local grocery stores and like Walmart versus Target plastic bags, they're so much sturdier. That's so loud, Matt.
Is it it's only funny because a thirst quenching hydro mask.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so first and foremost, it's 2-part gift.
Okay.
Last episode we recorded, I am very much a self-care recommending bitch. So I gave you, Matt, a face mask, a hand mask.
Maybe. There we go.
Yes, face mask.
There's a hand mask.
hand mask, and a foot mask.
And a foot mask.
Because all I want you to do is be a moisturized bitch. Okay? How's that?
I love it. Yeah. So this is actually a really good gift, and I've been trying to do it more. Like over the last, like I've always had decent skin, but like I've been trying to get the girls better about taking care of their skin because I took care of my skin when I was younger, so I have good skin now that I'm older. But I've been trying to get better about it.
Which it is always. It feels like it's a catch-22 to buy somebody that you care about, like skincare. Because if you're buying somebody that you care about skincare, it's like an entendre, like, oh, like your skin's so dry, Matt. No, that's not what I'm saying. I am always saying you need some extra time to love on yourself and moisturize. Okay, so the second part of your present is an introduction to Ruth Ware, the It Girl, which I have the exact same paperback of that book sitting on my table downstairs that I didn't actually grab. So I have the exact same copy of that book because I know you love reading as much as I do, and I really love a good thriller. Some of the best thrillers that I've ever read are from Ruth Ware. Fun fact, though, I came home, I bought not only you a copy of that book, I bought me a copy of that book. And if you will notice, for many, many weeks that we have been recording this podcast, there is a gold book behind me in the background. If you are addicted to reading books, you will be chasing the end of your to be read list forever. I bought Matt a copy of this book from Ruth Ware, who is a wonderful thriller author that I adore, because I wanted to do a buddy read. I want to do a buddy read of us read it together and see if it's something that we liked or didn't like. And joke's on me, because I actually had that book in hardcover all the way back here on my bookcase, probably since we have been recording episodes.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So,
buddy system.
To expose you to a new author and thrillers, which are always my go-to. If it's not thrillers, it's going to be smut. So if it's a smut thriller, that's fine. I think the It Girl is more of a thriller. But Ruth Ware is a wonderful author. She has some great books. But yeah, I just decided I wanted to do a buddy read with you where we both report back and decide whether it was a book that we both liked or didn't like for whatever reason.
I like that it seems like I just opened it and it's like I flipped from page 38 to page 31, and one page says before and one page says after, and I enjoy that, like there's a back and forth, because time jumps are fun. Time, like reading, like one of my favorite books is Sharp Objects, and Sharp Objects had that kind of element of like we were finding out what was going on with her in the past, but also what this thing that she's working. And so I am already really excited about that. Thank you.
Matt, maybe that's our next like thing that we get for each other is our like desert island books.
Okay.
But I just thought it was absolutely hilarious that I like rolled into Target and I was like, I want to get Matt, you know, a book that's going to lend itself to escapism or something that we can like read together and like, oh, this book looks really cool. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a prompt that like he'll be super interested in, but it'll be like a good exposure to one of my favorite thriller authors or whatever. I pay for 2 fucking copies of this paperback book, 20% off at goddamn Target. And I get home and it's been sitting hardcover on this bookcase behind me for months, because the point of being somebody that loves to read is that you buy too many books. And I don't know, if you're a bookworm and you're addicted to reading books, maybe the point of life is that you will always be chasing the end of your to be read list and you won't ever get there. I don't know.
I like it. Hey, buddy.
I'm very excited to hear what you have to think about it, though, or you have to say about it, though. So, Merry Chrysler, Matt.
Merry Christmas. I am super. I'm happy that we did this. I think that was a very fun. I don't want to call it experiment, but like whatever, social experiment, if you will. I like that. And legitimately, I don't have Wednesdays off anymore because I changed jobs. But Saturday, if I don't got to wait till Christmas actually to use that, Saturday, we're going to, for sure, the face mask and the like hand mask. I got to work on my car. So it's definitely one of those things where like I will enjoy it after working on my car because I guarantee my fingers are going to be all like gnarled up. So yeah, if you want to be like a solid person in your like 50s and 60s, you got to take care of yourself in your 20s and 30s. Just saying.
Solid. So. Yes, that is great sound advice. I feel like we could probably have a whole other episode about that topic, but we digress.
Yeah. We digress. Yeah. Plenty of times. I hope that that you enjoy your gifts, and I hope that people out there realize that like you don't have to even be in the same place to celebrate a holiday with somebody or to show them love, and as you say, to love on somebody, because like we are just two idiots with internet access, trying to be good. Yeah,
we're trying to be good and floating on a fucking rock that might be knocked out of whatever. Either way, Caitlin now has Homesroom podcast stickers, so yeah, leave a review, reach out, send a DM to one or both of us about a prior episode. I would love to give you one of these. It is an absolute awesome quality sticker. I will immediately send you me putting this on my iPad case. I have so many stickers on my iPad case. This is going to be a welcome addition to it. So thank you, Matt. You're awesome.
Yeah. Well, good. I can't say enough about how like happy I am that we're here and that we're doing this and that like ideas like this are possible because we give each other space to be like, hey, you want to do this silly thing that I just thought of?
Yep.
Off the dome, as you say. I love it.
Love the top of the dome.
Yeah. Well, you have a Merry Christmas out there, Happy Holidays, whatever it is you're celebrating. If you're not celebrating, have fun doing that too. That's what I got. Whatever, some people have like the Chinese food restaurant dinners because that's the only thing that's open. Yeah, enjoy that. Whatever you got.
We adore you all. We thank you all so much for tuning in for however many episodes of the Homesroom podcast that you've tuned into. Adore you all. Please reach out. We're here to be your biggest cheerleaders. We want to love on you all in all the different ways that you might need it. But yeah, adore you all, and we will catch you on the next episode of the Homesroom podcast.
Goodbye. Merry Christmas. Reindeer's running around. The bell is about to ring. If you want to drop us a voice message or simply ask a question, you can do that by clicking the link in the show notes below. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review. It helps more people find us. Theme music by Kinsey. More music available on Spotify. Remember, every day is a class. Go learn something.